know what it costs. I hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel a smile.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Yes, it is not Monday. It's Tuesday, but we're back on the morning show on Stock Market TV. Hope you all enjoyed the nice long weekend. Well, at least if you're in North America, President's Day. If you're a crypto person, you didn't have a long weekend. You never have a weekend because crypto never sleeps. If you were trading the bond market, that was open a little bit yesterday, wasn't it? Or if you're the futures markets were open a little bit yesterday. If you're in China, you were kicking ass and taking names. So speaking of China, we should probably talk about that. We had Baidu earnings today, and Steve has just been killing it. So we'll cover a couple of those names. Other names on the dock for today, in no particular order. We have Archer Aviation. Not sure what we want to talk about with that, but we have a chart. Actually, we have several charts ready. We have Uber on the list. We have John Deere on the list. We got some stuff going on. Today. We'll have Kenny join us. Oh, and our guest today is Riley Rosebee. He'll be on at 9. So it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day for us. It's going to be a good day for you. You got me. You got Steve. No JC. I should mention that. JC will be back tomorrow. Didn't mention that, so he'll be back on tomorrow's show. But you got us. What more do you need? We got charts. Do we have any likes? Do we have any likes in the chat? I see 7. Let's get to like 20. We got like a few hundred people watching this. Let's get to like 20 likes. I think that'd be cool. All right. Smash the like. Here we go.
Yo.
Happy Tuesday.
That's right. How's your long weekend?
President's Day was good for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
Good, man. It was you know what it is? It's like the busier your weekend is, the longer it feels. If you have a weekend where you don't do a whole lot, it's like it felt like a short weekend. But if you're busy and you're doing things, and I was doing things, it feels like it felt like a week. But these last 3 days, it's like, damn, Friday feels like a week ago.
What'd you do?
Just a lot of, we had friends over like all day Sunday, and they have like newborn children. So our house was just like inundated with like baby stuff, which is good because I don't have any of that stuff yet. But like I was just shocked at the amount of stuff that people had to bring over to my house for their babies, right?
Yeah.
Did a lot of food shopping, man. Did my Costco trip that I love to do. Went out for Valentine's Day. So just had a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
And had some appointments. It was a busy weekend.
Did you do something nice for Valentine's Day?
Just went to a local Italian spot, new spot for us. Yeah. What about you? You did the
This is good. So I told you guys Friday, Chef Steve for Valentine's Day. So I was so excited. We ordered the jumbo Maine lobster, nice piece of steak, and I'm good with the steak. Steak's no problem. Perfect.
Yep.
I don't cook lobster very often, and I'm not in the I'm not like JC. I know
nobody cooks lobster.
this is a special treat. So I got the lobster in there. I'm baking it. I popped it up out of the shell. It's looking so good. But the hard thing about lobster is how long to cook it. You got to be shrimp's the same way. You got to be really good. It's like cooking pasta. You got to be spot on. So I'm using the thermometer. I'm like poking it, and I think the thing was broken. By the time the lobster came out, it tasted like mashed potatoes. Like I overcooked this thing to the point it was inedible. So big miss on the lobster, but we had a lovely Valentine's Day.
Okay. All right. That's all that counts. A for effort, Steve.
Dude, it was garbage.
That's okay. Bad. I always flirt with the seafood at Costco as if I'm gonna buy, like 4 lobster tails and do what with it exactly. I'm not, I don't know.
Yeah, so. Dude, seafood's tricky.
Yeah,
like cooking a piece of fish is fine, but once you get to the shellfish and all the other weird stuff, it's you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know what you're doing.
sure.
And then we went up to the mainland, visited my mother up in South Florida. We came back. Yes, we did like furniture shopping all weekend, which is a blast, by the way. I had a great time.
I guess it depends, right?
Well, because I'm only shopping online down here. Think about it.
Yeah.
So like I never do this. I'm like going to the store, laying on things, checking it out.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
What kind of furniture are we buying?
We were doing mostly like patio furniture. Like I got an empty patio right now. So we're gonna do something fun out there. Cool. Fire pit, day bed, whatever. Hang out.
Nice.
China.
All right. Should we do a little state of the markets and then do some live charting? I think JC's not here, so we can do all the live charting we want.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yep.
Let me set it up. So we do miss JC today. He will be back.
Markets are up. Stocks are up. That's the bottom line. Stocks are up. Crypto is not.
What else is new? And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the crypto because I think we have to. You got me here? You see me?
No. Yes.
So slow morning for sure. Should be able to cut that out and zoom in on it. Slow morning. Let's check out the futures. Let's start with the stock market. S&P 500 indicated to open up more or less at new all-time highs. No kidding. How about the Dow futures? Not quite, but you got a really nice coil here. This is Dow Jones, right? Something like this. Check this out. Nice little base, came up, hung out. You could say, oh, look at the other indexes, right? They're starting to resolve higher. That probably starts happening today. What's the Dow going to do? Is it going to resolve in the opposite direction? Probably not, right? So you can measure this out, something like this. You could fib it out, or you could just measure. I would just measure this. So 45, lower bounds called 42, measure it up 3, get you to 48 on this little coil resolution. So that's looking good. NASDAQ. I mean, these are just nice little cups here, right? Coming off of some really steady uptrends. Nice little basing action, a couple of months, and these look ready to go. I mean, what do you think, Spencer? Do you buy these breakouts? Pretty clean, no?
Hard to argue. Hard to argue, especially if you were on JC's conference call last night, which was...
He likes it.
He likes it.
He likes it a lot right now.
He likes it. He likes the breath. He likes most things, actually. So
yeah,
I have nothing. I would love nothing more, really, truly, than to be a devil's advocate. It is in my nature to do so.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to say right now for that. Right. I really don't.
No, we'll try to play devil's advocate in just a second here. We do have some data that we could point to. But you think about, what are we talking about? Stocks resolving multi-month basis, breaking out to new record highs. That would probably mean a fresh, reaction rally or up leg higher from here. And then you look at the intermarket landscape and it confirms it. Right. So the dollar, it broke out of this range. It looked like, okay, new markup phase for the dollar. We're probably heading back to these 2022 highs. Nope. Failed. Gets slammed back into the box. If the dollar were to not just, fail this pattern breakout, which it already has, but then if it reacts lower and ends up trading around 100 in a couple of weeks or months, what will the stock market look like? What will international equities be doing? What will commodities be doing? Right. I think that's the question we all need to be asking right now. And when you look at the daily, I think the momentum profile tells a big story here. So not only do you have the bearish momentum divergence at the peak here, you have this little tactical top, but momentum is at its lowest level here, hit like under 40 last week. Hasn't been down there since literally September of last year when it was trading around 100. I think the dollar's headed back to the lower bounds. I think that sparks some sort of reaction like higher in risk assets. However, Spencer wants to play devil's advocate.
I always want to play devil's advocate. That's my favorite thing is what if I'm wrong? What if we're wrong? It's my favorite thing to do.
It's a good thing to do. JC always asks us, what's your best bear case right now? It's a great exercise. So here's Solana. This was our leader in crypto world. Like, Solana is a very important chart to analyze if you're trying to get a read on the overall health of the crypto market. This is a top, and for now, it's printing lower. Now, I think you need to see a couple things before it's confirmed, right? I want to see momentum get oversold to confirm this breakdown. But here it is, new lows, right? We are below this VWAP. Look at how well this VWAP has, governed sell-offs over the past couple of months. Caught it here back in October, caught it here in December, caught it here back in January, and then again this month. Now we're breaking that level. That's a really big deal. So I think if Solana goes, some of these others start to follow, you got to just hold off on crypto for now. I have so much less exposure. And it's not because I think it's over. It's just because I'm not going to argue with the charts. Like, I can overthink the intermarket all day and say the animal spirits are alive and well out here. International equities are working. Commodities are working. Everything's coming together, right? Why wouldn't cryptos work? So that's what I think. But then when I see this, I can't own it. So I think with cryptos, you got to be patient. You got to be patient, and you got to see it, and you want to get in on strength on most of these. So,
well, on the contrary to that, if you did not see Louis' stream yesterday, we love doing crypto streams on U.S. stock market holidays because there's nothing else to talk about on those days, right?
Yeah.
So he did one yesterday, and Louis' idea here is that we are primed for a massive catch-up trade in crypto. I'm dropping the link in chat right now. There it is. Here, I'll do it in this chat as well, so it can also be on.
And I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Yep.
But you can't own this here. Both those things.
Yeah. Solana, probably not, right? Anyway, Louis' idea, and you have to watch the video because he says it much better than I could, is that we know that crypto behaves like any other growth asset in your portfolio. We know what growth stocks are doing right now. We know what ARK is doing right now. Wouldn't it stand to reason that crypto would catch up to that? So check out it's not a very long video. Seriously, if you're like, oh, no, I can't watch this. No, it's like 15 minutes long. Okay. Check out Louis' point of view, and I'm inclined to agree. I would just say that.
Bitcoin's not oversold though. Okay, and guess what else? If the cryptos just are going to take their time before that situation starts to play out, and you do get some big, catch up rally there, other things are trending in the meantime. Commodities markets are red hot right now. So here's copper, made new multi-month highs, highest level since summer of last year, last week. Oil, energy in general is lagging. I think that's a big catch-up opportunity as well. Right now, some of the ags are just doing great. We had someone on from TechRealm where we talked about some of these commodity ETFs. I think they're really, really interesting right now, right? We talked to Sal about that a couple weeks ago. So check out, pay attention to commodities right now. Everybody's talking about gold. I heard somebody on the television this morning talking about gold as a hedge. I think gold is simply a risk asset, like everything else, and it's just one of the strongest ones right now. Probably get a catch-up situation. Silver out here. Speaking of nice bases, this looks like the NASDAQ. Silver. Yeah. So look out for big tech this week. Look out for China. Like you said, Spencer, Baidu reporting. I think you're going to get a resolution from the large cap tech sector spider. I think you're going to get a resolution from the large cap China tech ETF, KWeb. So let's talk about Baidu. I think you're going to get a big red to green here.
You want to know what the numbers were?
Because I own short-term calls. What?
You want to know what the numbers were?
Yeah, read them.
All right. Adjusted earnings per share, $2.63 versus a $1.78 estimate. Revenue, $4.68 billion versus a $4.56 billion estimate. However, that revenue number, although it came in higher, was down 2% year over year. And yet it would have been down a lot more had it not been for a 26% year-over-year growth in the AI cloud business. That is kind of the big flotation device, I guess, on this earnings report was the AI cloud. Without that, it would have been a much worse report.
Okay, so we've seen this before, right?
Yeah.
And they say, at least the narrative is and has been probably true, at least for the bigger ones. Startups can move quicker. That China's a couple quarters behind, maybe even a couple years at this point, and that was by design, right? We tried to not let these companies really get the best tech and the best chips to compete with the American companies early on in this AI thing. But they're going to get there. And we saw this with the US tech companies, the Mag 7 last year and even the year before, where it was like for a couple quarters, sentiment would really sour and you'd hear things like Google missed AI, Apple missed AI, right? And then what happens? They catch up. And all of a sudden, a couple quarters later, they're AI stocks again. To think that Baidu, the Google of China, is not going to do something great with AI. This is one of the biggest cash flow businesses out there. They got the money. They're going to do all the investing. They're going to do something. They're making, they're doing all these deals and partnerships with Apple. So I don't think you want to bet against this. And it's more of a story of where are we coming from. So like, look at this massive top. Alibaba's still in more than 70% drawdown from its highs from a few years back. The stock's trading at like 10 times price to earnings multiple. Right. So this is as cheap as it gets. The sentiment around China right now. And this is a beautiful pattern. We see these massive tops all the time. And when they don't complete, then they start moving in the opposite direction. So if you could run Alibaba back, get it at this, key level where we bottomed out several times in the past, run it back towards those old highs. This is a massive trade in really a blue chip Chinese tech company. If that's not like the funniest thing I've ever said, a blue chip Chinese company.
Yeah, maybe not blue chip, like it's like turquoise, right? It's like not quite blue. It might look like blue in some respects, but it's not quite blue. It's all relative, right? It's all gonna be relative.
The point is, this is the Google of China. Spencer, would you buy it here?
Actually, I might, because I know you've been on this trade for 3 months now. I guess since the election, maybe even before that. I don't even know. And I've been sitting back watching you from the sidelines, entertaining and happy for you, but not participating because of my own preconceived biases about China. But I always say I like a trade with an easy out. This is an easy out right here, whatever that low is from all these lows in the same area. I like the support, and we're not far from it. So
we talk about the Mag 7 rotation all the time, right? And they've all played catch up, and taken turns doing so this cycle, and more or less always, right? Let's look at Baidu's peers. Like, look at Baidu, like I said, more than 70% drawdown. Then let's look at some of the others, like the Apple of China, new record highs. The Expedia of China, trading around new record highs. The Tesla of China, breaking out of this massive base, trading around. These are weekly charts, new record highs. Alibaba, the Amazon of China. This one was a dog, and look at the catch up it's played recently. Up, I don't know, a cool 55% in 1 month's time, completing this base, about to move higher. You look at Pinduoduo. I know Spencer loves Temu. These all look a lot better than something like Baidu.
I'll feel so vindicated if PDD ever does collapse. Even though I lost money on that trade, I will feel vindicated.
You can't buy anything from that store.
No, I keep seeing headlines about how Temu and Amazon are bracing for these tariffs and watch out. But I don't know. I don't shop there anyway. So
yeah. But what do you think about the rotation story? Right? If the Tesla and the Apple and the Amazon of China are making new highs, or at least trending a lot better, why wouldn't the Google of China
go down? I'm not trying to go down the cap scale. It's one thing.
So don't. Baidu's big. Baidu's a big boy. Baidu, had more or less the same market cap as some of the Mag 7s last cycle. You know, Tencent had peaked at the same market cap as Meta and then bottomed at the same market cap as Meta the last cycle. And now it would have to like double in price, more than double in price to catch up to the market cap in Meta. Be a couple X, probably.
Last cycle meaning COVID?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Peaked in like 21 and then bottomed in 22, right around the same market cap. Drop a link to that post. I wrote about it like a few weeks ago. But that's the point. These companies used to be valued, you know, in close to the same way as these U.S. companies, or at least some of them as big or close. Now it's crazy, the valuation gaps. So I just like that low base. I like coming off of, you know, these depressed levels. Because it speaks to the risk reward, right? We talk about Baidu. Oh, you got a level right here. You know where you're out. And then what's the potential reward on something like this? Gosh, if they ever played catch up to their old valuations, I don't know, couple X.
And Steve, we didn't even mention the fact that one of the arguably the big overhang on these stocks, the reason they got distorted is because the government just said, we don't like you anymore. And now they like them again, right? I mean, Xi Jinping met with Jack Ma and a bunch of other people over the weekend, right? Or last week. So they're all buddies now.
And notice how now all of a sudden the headlines are like very different. And instead of these nightmare, scary headlines where, you know, China's going to crash and tariffs and this and that, it's all these like nice things that are just pumping these stocks higher. They're dropping press releases, doing deals with the American mega cap tech companies. And the market's starting to like it. So that's it.
Yeah, a lot of times, and this is JC says this a lot. He's right sometimes, but the headlines can follow the sentiment, right? And in this case, they are, right? Or the headlines follow the price, right? The headlines follow the price.
For sure.
So,
Yep.
You know, in this case, that's what's happening. So, anyway, yeah.
Okay, good. That's all I got. Slow news.
No. You had more. I know we'll have Kenny on in a minute or two, but I know didn't you have like you had EH hanging around there somewhere? How's that doing?
I was gonna wait to talk about those with
okay.
Riley because he's just doing such great work on these EV tools.
All right.
So we're gonna get into. We're gonna talk about the Joby, the Archer, the eHang, like what these companies actually do.
Yeah,
super cool stuff.
Hey, you know we didn't even mention at all. Probably because it was a Friday afternoon. But I know you love this every quarter. Friday was 13F Day for those who celebrate. I know we don't really celebrate that here because we don't really care because we know better than to care about these filings. But Warren Buffett continually shows he has the power to move a stock the day after a filing of his is released, right? So
are you talking about Oxy? What?
No, I'm talking about like Domino's, right? I'm talking about Constellation Brands, right?
He's buying that piece of crap.
He's buying Constellation Brands. Yeah.
He bought Constellation Brands. It's hard to find a worse looking chart. Somebody get Warren Buffett a technician. Like he's just buying these tops out here. I don't know. Has he lost his touch? So this is what Warren Buffett's buying right now. Top. This is a disgusting chart.
Well,
this is what Warren Buffett's buying right now. Top. Like what a disgusting chart. Like you can't touch these things. Sirius. This is what Warren Buffett's buying right now. Like, oh, holy cow, it's got 0 written all over it. I don't know. Are you worried about him? Like as a big Buffett guy, are you concerned?
I think my personal theory, my own theory is that it's not him. These are his guys.
Oh, you think he's out?
No, I just don't think he is. I think it's
somebody else. Somebody else running the show.
No. He's had people like his deputies buy like they buy stocks, right? Like it's like their calls, their research. It's not as if he's the one doing all the research on everything, right? That's been a known thing. Ajit Pai, no, not Ajit Pai. What's his name? I don't remember his name. But yeah, I just think these could be his deputies and not like him per se. That's just my own theory. I don't have any.
You don't get your money back from your stock losses just because it's somebody else who did it. You know.
That's true. Anyway, before
I'm
we
being
bring Kenny
sarcastic.
on, wait, what else did he buy? He bought he brought he bought more pool, he bought more dominoes, he sold some Citigroup, he sold some new, so trimming his financial positions. Did not do anything with Apple. That's interesting. That's kind of it. Anyway, okay, enough about that.
It's easy to say stuff like, "Oh, Tencent isn't Meta." Well, Meta wasn't the Meta it is today 2 years ago,
Well,
right? So, like, keep an open mind is all I'm saying. Keep a really open mind. Also, pay attention to the news. Like, a quarter of these NVIDIA chips are going to Singapore and then disappearing from there, right? So if the narrative is, oh, China can't build the same things as the US because they don't have the chips, where are all those Singapore chips right now?
I don't know.
Right? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm being told to mention the fact that he exited his positions in the S&P 500, which accounted for 0.02% of his portfolio. Okay, Kenny, what's going on, man? Let's talk to Kenny Glick.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tug it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola.
What's doing?
2028. That's what's doing.
What does that mean?
2028 will be the next time the market actually goes down for more than 7 minutes.
Wait. I have to write this down. Hold on a second. Do you have
I'll give you the date.
You have a date for me? This is good.
March 17th, 2028. The market will sell off for about 14 minutes. It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick.
All right. I'll put it in my calendar later.
Yes.
I wrote it down.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. I spoke to my father. He said everything is all right. He's 82 years old and he bought more cues. He doesn't want. When my father gets out of the cues, that's when we all get out of the cues. Or if my uncle wants to get back into the market, he's crashed the market 3 times. I think I've told you that story 100 times. If my uncle decides, in 1987, my uncle said, the market's rigged. I can't believe I'm back in this goddamn awful thing. I can't believe I crashed the market again. I'm never buying the stock market ever again. Fast forward 13 years, Cisco just went from $8 to 80. And here's my uncle saying, you know what? I think it's time for me to get back into the market. I'm hearing about this company, Cisco. Is this really what you want to do, Uncle? After all those horrible stories you told me about your experiences? Yes, I want in. Crashed the market. When did he get back in? 2008. That's right, baby. And he's been out ever since the financial crisis. So when guys like my uncle get back in, that's it. Then it's over. So right now we're safe.
Oh, your poor uncle, Kenny.
Yeah.
Your poor uncle.
Yeah, but it's true. When guys like that get back in, that's when it really is over. And, I'm hearing the dash for trash conversation a lot, because we talk a lot about these weird stocks every day.
Yeah.
Is this the dash for trash? And I'm like, I've seen the dash for trash. When we start talking about Blockbuster in the pink sheets, that's the dash for trash moment.
Wait, it's all relative, right? Again, dash for Kenny's version of trash is different than like my version of trash, right?
My trash becomes Carvana and going to $288 or AMD.
That's not quite what I meant, but okay.
Yeah. But when these trashy stocks are all we're talking about, then there's a problem, and that's what got me into the as a bear, circa 2000 2001. As I was getting my ass kicked looking at stocks, when they would announce a 4-for-1 split and the stock would go 400%. I'm like, that's not how this is supposed to work, and but at that moment, the penny stocks that were around in 2000 are a lot different than what we're looking at today. And these guys were saying, Kenny, we've never seen anything like this before. This is it. This is the moment. And that was February of 2000. So
talk to me about quality stocks like ASTS here, something like that.
No, let's talk about Palantir.
Okay.
This stock is basically the bull market. And as far as I'm concerned, right now, it's pretty much all I own. I sold some Lunar. I still got the Lunar, and I'm glad the thing's back above 20. But Palantir is everything I've ever learned about the stock market. Momentum. Momentum is your number one friend. Bull market, bear market, momentum is your number one friend, and all-time highs. There was a guy that used to sit next to me, and he wanted to short all-time highs. I'm like, but it's going to more all-time highs tomorrow. He's like, no, eventually it's going to go down. I'm like, but it's again all-time highs the next day. And he kept shorting all-time highs and never understood that concept. And now it's a bear. But Palantir, everything I've ever learned about the market, $20 stocks that break out go to 50. 50 gets you 80, 80 gets you 120.
Yep.
Now we're at 120. Now what? You think it's just going to crash back to 80 because we got to 120? No. Now we go to 150, 180, and 250. When the stock's at 250, the conversation will be exactly the same. It's overvalued. What does this company do? Who's buying it up here? Who's buying it up here is the mantra.
It doesn't make sense, Kenny. It doesn't make sense. The valuation, it's so expensive. Look at the PE. Look at the price to sales. I don't understand it. And they're right. It is going to come down. It's going to go from 200 to like 175 or 150, and they're short. They're short at $80, right?
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like,
and I know all these themes because I've lived them all. So again, when I met JC, he said one of the most simplest things: buy stocks when they're going up, short them when they're going down. Most stocks are going up right now. You don't want to get in their way. And when the time comes, trust me, I'll be ready to rock. But when you got UVXY and the VIX product disintegrating every day, Monday's bullish, the sun's out, it's bullish. Fridays are usually bullish. I mean, there's nothing I'm seeing that's bearish, which is kind of, I'm sitting here like twisting my mustache if I had one, waiting. Show me the signs. The dash for trash is not working. The VIX of products are gone. There is no reason not to be bullish, which kind of scares me. But at the same time, why not just stay in the moment? The earnings reversals that we trade every day are working. But right now, what we've been doing is parlaying some of that money and just buying the Qs. If you're going to keep going up, we're going to keep buying the Qs. And so far, so good.
I love it. It's simple, but it works. And to the people that are like your friend who look at a stock or whatever market going higher and think, oh, it's got to come down, because I used to be that way too. It's got to come down. It's got to come down. No, it doesn't.
Right.
Who says it has to come down?
Right. And it will. We'll have a mini correction. And if that correction breaks certain levels, again, then you go back to the algorithmic nature of the market. If one price breaks, that begets the next price. But let me see it break those prices, because since we've held all those key moments, now we are back at all-time highs. That's how it keeps working. So it keeps panning out that the buy on dippers are winning. So why are you going to fight this? Why are you going to fight this? And, going back to what we do, I mean, we traded the crap out of Moderna on Friday because that was the stock that was in play. And we put on a clinic. And I mean, I haven't traded Myrna since the pandemic. And it was just in play on Friday. And I was just showing people, here's how you can make money just trading around VWAP and ranges. I don't know if you see my screen. You probably don't even see it right now. But we stay focused on what's in play for the day, but then the overall picture, it is so super bullish right now. It's hard to ignore it, and you shouldn't, and you got to participate in some way. And if it's just suddenly we snap our fingers and we start rolling over today, and today's the day where we actually start a correction, great. It'll be VWAP and VWAP reversals and prior day VWAP. When that day happens, we will be so prepared for it. But right now, we're almost like complicit bulls now in the room. It's weird.
Kenny Glick living up to his reputation as the most bullish bear on Wall Street. Guys, hitthebid.com is where he's trading live every day. Go be there.
Yes.
Kenny.
Let me give you something else. Let me tell you about this. Before I go, let me show you this chart. Now, here's one of my trades that hasn't worked out, but it's starting to percolate again. And this is where we always get let down. Its name is Solar Edge. That's right, Sedge. We love it, we hate it, but we're back in the green on some calls.
How many times, Kenny?
How many times can I be beaten? It's like a booty call, and she keeps breaking my heart. This Kardashian bottom will be broken sooner or later. If we could just get this bad boy above 19, we're going to get another 8 or 9 points out of it, possibly 100%. So I'm back in the Sedge, and I held it over the weekend. And if it could just stay green, maybe we get 3 more days out of this, because this turn was awesome, but usually it lets us down. So back above 15, I might just have to cut bait on this bad boy. All right?
Good luck to you, Kenny.
All right. I'll see you guys in the room.
All right.
Bull
and how many times I've lost count of the number of times he's mentioned Solar Edge to us over the years. Anyway, $16 right now. It's actually having a good morning. Actually had a good week last week. So good luck to you, Kenny. All right, it's 9:06. I know Steve is here getting some coffee. We do have Riley Rosebee in the chat or backstage, so let's bring him on and he came prepared with some charts. So let's talk about that, and we'll see where it goes. How about that?
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Yo,
What's up, Spencer? How are
hey,
you?
what's going on?
Steve.
What's up, buddy?
Dude, today's a good day. Today's a good day. Archer's gapping up.
So what happened? There was a press release today?
Press release today. Yep. Archer received its Part 141 certification from the FAA. So this allows pilot training, formally recognized by the FAA. So things are happening. Things are moving in this flying car universe.
So they got to train people to fly these things because these are literally brand new aircrafts.
Yeah. Yeah. Better than helicopters, cheaper, safer, more quiet. They're basically silent at this point. So it's only a matter of time in my mind when everybody has to accept these.
We just put on some Archer calls.
Ooh, this Archer is so interesting. It's at $10. It's right there. It's right at the scene of the crime.
It's
Riley,
at the scene of the crime.
It's at the scene of the crime.
Also,
you wrote about that in your report, how it's at the SPAC price. No,
correct. Yeah. So I've been kind of following this, what I'm looking at as like the next gen industrial revolution trend. So an industrial revolution 2.0, basically.
wrote the Archer chart. Yeah, talk to me about it. Let's zoom out on the whole theme. Why are you so interested in these stocks? What are they doing? What is an eVTOL? What does it stand for? How are they ever going to make money? Are these things in the air? And
where do you want me to start? Where do you want me to start?
Can I get to Miami from Key West in 30 minutes for a cost of an Uber? Or is this all bullshit?
I mean, eventually, yeah, for sure.
Let's go.
How it's going to play out is to be determined. I think the most interesting thing about Archer is they have these military contracts, right? So that's why you're seeing the relative strength in Archer compared to Joby, because Joby's essentially, for breaking it down, they're trying to be like the Toyota, so the auto manufacturer, as well as Uber. So they also want to operate the air taxi service. So I don't know if that's going to play out and that's going to work. I'm wishing them the best of luck, but I follow the relative strength, and it's here in Archer. Primarily, I'm thinking these military contracts. So last week too, the institution stepped up and bought 300 million shares or $300 million worth of stock at $8.50.
Yeah, but they didn't say who. You see that?
They didn't say who. But it was the whales. We know it. We know it's the whales. They were in Davos last month.
Well, BlackRock was mentioned and nobody else, but Stellantis has been the big anchor investor here.
Yes. Well, these auto manufacturers know what's coming, right? It's if we're looking at the Industrial Revolution analogy, we're going from horse and buggy to the automobile, and now we're going from the automobile to flying cars.
Is this already happening in China?
A little bit. I mean, it has that autonomous vehicle now. I know in some groups that I'm in, like people are like, I don't want to get into a Chinese flying car. And I understand that sentiment wholeheartedly, but they're definitely moving the needle. So my thing is like, if Trump catches word that China's really moving on this stuff, I think his ego is going to come into play, and he's going to be like, we have to make this happen here in the US. So
I think the truth is that they're probably just as safer, because I think China's ahead of America in a lot of this mobility stuff. They're delivering food with drones, and like they have a whole system out there. We're not quite there yet. I don't know if it's like a looser regulatory thing. So
it's definitely regulatory. It's definitely regulatory, right? So like China's, if they want something to move, they're going to just tear down whatever regulatory they need to get it to move. Whereas we still have some processes in place. I don't know what that's going to mean with Doge and Department of Government Efficiency and like how all that's going to evolve, but it seems like the wind is at our back.
Throw up the E-Hang also. I know everybody loves the Archer chart. How could you not? But I think this one's better. I think this one looks even better. This is a fresh trend reversal. We're just coming out of the space. Took years. Measure it back to those old highs. What is that? 4x more? Let's go. This thing looks great. So this thing
though, I guess Strazza, the biggest reason I'm more interested in Archer is like we've traded Chinese names before, and they are epic on the upside, but they are also epic on the downside.
Yeah, but guess what? It's a bull market. It's a
It
brand
is
new
a,
bull market.
it is a bull
So,
market. It
what are you
is a
worried
bull
about?
market. I mean, I closed some e-hang last week, but like I'm really interested in this Archer play. I also like the warrants. I don't know if we've touched on that. You and I be like kind of behind closed doors, but they have some warrants that expire September of 26
Yep.
at 1150 strike. And
Been in them for so long. They're great. And a lot of these speculative companies have warrants. Joby has warrants also.
again, though, I'm not as convinced on the Joby side because I think they're trying to do a little too much. There's also so many players in the private space.
Throw up the
Like,
Joby.
Yeah, let's take a look at the
So,
Joby.
what's the big difference between the Joby and the Archer?
Archer's customers are the U.S. military, and eventually going to be. Not a bad
usually a
customer
really
to
good
have.
thing.
Not a just take a look at Lockheed Martin or Boeing back in the day. Joby, like I said, they're trying to be Toyota, so they're trying to manufacture these eVTOLs as well as operate an air taxi service like Uber. I don't know if that's
Toyota eventually buys them if they figure it out.
maybe they're a strategic investor.
What it looks like, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
They've
sure
been
we're
their
going to see a
piggy bank.
lot of mergers and acquisitions. Like we're in the early innings of this, right? Like I don't know how long this trend's going to last. I think it's got some legs and some sticking power, mainly because like we're building cool tech, and now I'm getting people hitting me interested in like, what is this that we're building? I mean, 2 weeks ago I had a call with a kid, 12-year-old in Alabama. He's like, I want to learn more about this stuff. Like, what should I focus on in school? So there's definitely something in the air. Animal spirits for sure.
I think this technology is really cool. I'm definitely biased because I just want it. I think that's really interesting.
Everybody wants it though.
Yeah.
That's the thing is everybody wants it. Like nobody wants to
Does it
sit
work
in
as
traffic.
well? Do they work as well as I hear? Like, what makes them so much better than the traditional helicopters?
Well, number one, they're safer, right? So on a typical helicopter, you have that single prop at the very top. And they typically say there's like 38 points of failure within that engine operating system up there with the rotor.
Yeah.
These eVTOLs have 4 rotors. So you just have that redundancy and there's additional safety measures. So if one rotor goes out, you have 3 others. Also,
how many people fit in them?
It depends. I mean, they're like 4 to
different
6
sizes.
Yeah, I mean, Joby and Archer right now, I think are like 3 to 4 passengers in that range, but they're gonna evolve. I mean, it's a private company, but the most interesting company in my mind right now in this space is Leo Flight. It's a team. One of the co-founders is based in New York. One of the co-founders is in Indiana. I want to say they're just building out of a hangar. They're just tinkering with toys. You know, it's like that Apple was started in a garage kind of vibe. And they're up to some really cool electric jet propulsion technology that, in my mind, if that sticks, all of these companies are probably going to want to adopt it because it's superior to everything else that's out there.
But not public.
No, these guys are tiny. We'll have to go out there and talk to them. They're cool guys.
So, Riley, do we eventually like say this happens in a commercial way? Are we booking this stuff through Uber?
I don't know.
That's what they think. It's way too early to tell.
It's way too early to tell. They're looking at like end of 25 for commercial flights, and maybe Dubai has some commercial flights just because they have a little bit more regulatory wiggle room.
Yeah.
It's not likely that we're going to have commercial flights in the U.S. probably until early next year, so early 26. So how this whole thing unfolds, I mean, it's too soon to tell.
And this is only for super short flights. How far can these go?
I mean, they're about 250 miles right now. But look at the battery technology and the range growth of Tesla, you know, when it was getting started and how that thing compounded. So 10 years, maybe these things go 500 to 1,000 miles and it completely changes the way we move.
Almost surprising that Tesla is not a player in this space.
I am a little surprised. Like Elon went from full self-driving just to rockets, which I feel like there's that little middle ground that he skipped.
Yeah, he skipped a lot. So Riley, you're doing great work on this. You're writing about these stocks all the time. You've been way ahead of this trend, all over it, and they are really starting to work. I think these things have legs. These are fresh reversals. Let's drop a link to what Riley's doing so that you guys can all check it out. And I think you'll be on talking about this stuff more in the future, because it's not just the EV tolls. This is part of like a broader theme, right? Like a bigger sort of new technological revolution that's playing course right now. And why don't you speak about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, like I touched on before, this isn't, in my mind, I'm seeing this set up as the Industrial Revolution 2.0. So we went from horse and buggies to the automobile. Now we're going from the automobile to flying cars. But it's kind of the areas I'm really focusing on are where technologies are converging. So like, with the confluence of a river, you get new ecosystems that are born when two river networks intertwine. So within AI, space, energy, robots, automation, digital infrastructure, I mean, this is kind of where everything's moving in a longer term macro trend. Because you can trade a lot of these hot stocks and be in and out of them, but like I want to just kind of dollar cost average into the Qs, but into a basket of these names that are going to be the next gen of the Qs.
It seems like everybody's looking at AI right now, trying to find the AI plan. It's not that there's not AI, and this is probably going to be AI and everything in the future, but there's these other little corners, these hot corners of the market that are popping off and doing even better in space and exploration. It's these flying choppers, and kind of all these different things. So I feel like a lot of people are looking one way at the AI, and we have other mega trends kind of playing out.
Steve, I want to ask you this. How do you feel about technology? Because I always laugh when people are like, oh, it's a tech stock. But like, can you name a single company in the S&P 500 that isn't like a quote unquote tech company at this point? Like, they're all adopting these new technologies, so
in the past it was like
our autonomous mobility is going to advance as our energy appreciates and stuff. I mean, it's just everything's stacking. So when you have all these micro improvements in productivity and efficiency compounding on each other, what does that look like in 5 years?
Yeah, I love it. Tech is everywhere. AI is everywhere now. It's the market leaders in any sector are usually the ones that are embracing or using tech the best, right? Whether it's Domino's Pizza in discretionary or some oil and gas driller that's got the best underwater robots.
Was like, Domino's the early autonomous play?
Dude, they're just a software company. They built a dope website. Made it easy.
A great tracker.
They had good tech, we see it all the time, and it'll keep happening. It's going to happen in a bigger way. So all these things are exciting. Check out Riley's research. You got any names for us? I know you gave us the Archer. Anything else standing out, from any group, from any part of the market that you really like right now?
I mean, another one that I'm just kind of looking at as far as just keeping an eye on the health of this whole trend is Deere.
Yeah, I mean, this was interesting because I think of Deere as a tractor company.
Well, they are a tractor company.
Things for farms, and you're telling me this is John Deere's tech now too?
Dude, autonomous combines. You don't want an autonomous combine running on your 100-acre farm?
But this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Even not? John Deere, good old John Deere. It's an innovator because you have to be, right?
You have to be. You have to be. These guys would die in 50 years if they didn't lean into this next evolution of technology.
I love it. And what a massive range just came out of it, slammed back, ended up being a false start. Now another retest. This thing's going. Great chart. All right, Riley.
Thanks
so much for joining us today. We'll see you soon.
Of course. See you.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not realize that Archer was at the scene of the crime. Yeah. Imagine that you could have just bypassed 3.5 years of shit, right? Basically, and gotten back in this thing now, right? If you'd bought this thing when it SPAC'd back in 2021, 2020 even.
And that's what we do.
December of 20. So
Alfonso's done some great work on Archer with the hot corner over the years, and we've been watching this base. I think we did a screaming hot report on it. This is one of our conviction longs in hot corner because of the massive position from Stellantis. We saw Stellantis throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at them while the stock was in this base, right? Yeah, there's the Archer. So we're watching it, but we don't hang out there for all that opportunity cost. We get in once the base blasts higher, and it's been great. We also have been messing with these stocks and breakout multiplier. If you throw up the E-hang, like something that we do is when a theme or a group works, like Riley's so bowled up on the eVTOLs, right? We talk about these stocks all the time internally and with our friends, and they've been working. So, for example, we put a trade on the EH coming out of this little coil, bang, ends up being a huge winner, right? So that's a little before and after. Yeah, awesome. Right, we got in as it broke out, and then we take those profits and we say this group is working. Let's redeploy it. So then at the end of last week, we took some of the money off the table from our EHang winners, and we threw it into the Archer, and now the Archer's going. So you can kind of like play these industry group themes that way because they rotate from within. Right, one works, and then the others pick up momentum, and then there's sympathy bids, and the press releases come out, and then you're in new uptrends, and momentum begets momentum, and there's big short interests here. So a lot to like, a lot to like. I mean, Sam's been covering it in the freshly squeezed, these companies, because of the massive short interest. So they just keep coming up on like every scan. Riley's talking about it. They're in the hot corner. We're doing it in breakout multiplier. Right? They're in freshly squeezed. Sam's talking about them. So when we see that kind of overlap, we just know this is a big theme. So that was a cool conversation. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, so again, check out the link to Riley's blog is in the chat and description on YouTube. I subscribed, right? So it's the way he has posts are pretty easy to follow. If you don't know anything about this stuff, check it out. So okay. It's 9:23. I didn't want to cover a couple more things. I know we had Medtronic report this morning. And I had their numbers handy, and the stock is down about 6%. I don't know if we have the chart, but
this is one of those examples where it just looks so good, like it was about to come out of this beautiful base right here called 92. 92 is the base breakout level, sitting right up there at the upper bounds of this massive multi-year range. Looks like it was resolving from a coil, and now just getting slammed right back into the box. Cannot get this trend reversal done. It's been a sloppy name, and this is an industry leader. This is one of the most exciting healthcare stocks, over the course of my career, and just really, really sluggish price action all cycle.
So anyway, it was a mixed report. The guidance was in line with what they said previously. They narrowed the range a little bit, but down about 6% this morning. Shout out to Sam. One of his favorites is having itself a day and a half. Gene DX WGS. This thing is up 25% this morning.
Yeah.
They had earnings on like Thursday. No, earnings today. Yeah, earnings today. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, WGS. Shout out Sam. You were on this one like a month, 2 months ago, maybe more. It's gone. It's gone from like 4 to 90 in like a year. So
this is literally, I think, I don't want to speak for Sam, but I think it's his highest conviction, one of his highest convictions.
Yeah,
he loves this stock. It had this sweet coil since late October, just dead sideways, high and tight. Then a little shake before the boogie. Ooh, looks good. All right, more news. How about Hershey's? You like the Hershey's?
You're saying Hershey's had news?
Yeah, reaffirmed fiscal year 25 adjusted EPS growth, down mid 30% range.
Hershey's. I can't believe you wanted to talk about that this morning.
I mean, you want to just skip it? I'm just looking through. I'm looking through.
I mean, it's a consumer staple. Like what?
I'm aware. Yeah.
What is to like about that whole group right now? Like, find me a good staple, somebody, please. I don't know. If there is.
Fine. We'll move right on. How about Grab? You like the Grab here? What, up 13% in the pre-market?
Doesn't this fit to your like China theme a little bit?
100%.
Okay.
But why are they running this thing higher ahead of earnings? They must have come out and said something. Grab up 13% after Singapore Prime Minister and Finance Minister Lawrence Wong said companies will receive a 50% corporate income tax rebate in 25. That's awesome. See, when it rains, it pours. This is the kind of stuff that happens. Everybody's trying to get some now out here in Southeast Asia. They're giving them tax breaks. Love to see it. Grab. Talk about a perfect trend reversal. This is the Uber of Southeast Asia. What an exciting growth story. It's one of the biggest IPOs in Southeast Asian history. This company is just a really big deal. And we're super long. Super long. Super long. Love this name. Was I clear?
You were clear. Looking ahead this week, we are coming really to the end of earnings season. We still have to get to retailers in a few weeks. But this week we have a lot of names. Again, a lot of names that Steve likes. Baidu this morning, Alibaba on Thursday, Carvana on Wednesday. Who else do we have? A lot of stuff. We got Walmart this week. We got Unity. We got Rivian. We got Analog Devices, Booking Holdings, Solar Edge for Kenny. That's for you on Wednesday.
We got Solar Edge calls. We are in the money, dude. Let's cook. All of these speculative growth stocks, just look, they're all up pre-market. Look at the space and exploration stocks this morning. I would like to just announce, congratulations, Kathy Wood. You're so back. This woman is so back from the dead. Why so much hate? For Kathy Wood, the queen of speculative growth investing. She is so good at what she does. Everybody hated her during the bear market. What people fail to realize is that she's either going to be the biggest victim or the biggest beneficiary of the cycle. Bad times are going to be awful. They're going to wear through them like they always do. And the good times, they're going to print money. And this is going to be the best fun to be in. New cycle highs for just about every ARK ETF across the board. Space and exploration, new all-time highs.
I think the reason she gets a lot of hate, she doesn't do herself any favors by saying pretty outlandish stuff. She gives insane price targets for things like Tesla and Bitcoin.
Love it.
So that doesn't help her cause. However, it is not her problem that most of the money came into her funds too late.
She's selling her funds. That's her fucking job. That's what these people do.
Right.
Tom Lee also has insane price targets. We don't judge him for it.
Right. But also a lot of people, most of the money, most of the flows that came into the ARK funds came in too late. Right. This is a known thing. Just go back and look. It's a fact. A lot of people bought the hype and they bought the top in 2021. And
that'll happen again this cycle.
That's not
in the next cycle.
Right.
And it happened 10 years ago. Right. Like
that's not Kathy Wood's problem that some people just sucked, right? And they bought it at the wrong time.
Or frankly, that they don't understand what they're buying when they're buying ARK funds. This is a moonshot investment strategy. Simple as that. It's great in bull markets. It blows up in bears. That's it. So know what you're getting. And for years now, Spencer, I got to listen to people. Why you talk about the ARK fund so much? It's the perfect speculative growth benchmark. We've never stopped analyzing these things for information. What a great risk on gauge these indexes are. Thank God we have them. And I think they also do a great job picking stocks over at ARK Invest. We should get some other analysts on to talk about these themes.
Is it too soon to say they're back?
They're back. They're so back.
They're so back.
You want me to throw up the charts? You want to go around?
I'm looking at it right now.
What don't you like? Tell me what you don't like.
Oh no, I like it. I mean, it just broke out of this range. I'm not saying I don't like it, but
throw up my charts.
You zoom out far enough. You see ARK at 150.
Stop it. You know what that tells you? How much? How much longer the runway is from here? Throw up my little. We'll do this in 10 seconds. So we'll start with the ARK, their flagship fund, the ARK Innovation, ARKK.
Yep.
Trend reversal, boom, new cycle highs. Let's just look at the line charts, right? We don't even. That's the ARK. That's the big one. ARK Software. This has been the leader. I mean, we're almost back there, Spencer. We're almost back there. It's incredible. These stocks have been really great.
For the record, the ARKW, that was my vehicle of choice way back when.
Great. It's been the leader. Yeah. That's
I never
probably
owned
the best fund.
I only owned the ARKW.
It's better, I think. ARKF, this is the fintechs, right? New cycle highs, almost back there. If you want to take a bad one, you would ARK Genomics, right? But they couldn't break this down. We talked about how just bears couldn't break anything down this year. Sorry, you hear the opening bell? And now it's scooping higher, right? And it's going to start looking like the others. This is going to turn into a beautiful base just like the others. And then the strongest one of them all, I mean, shout out space and exploration stocks. These things are about to blast off again here this week. I think a new leg higher is coming for the space stocks. We're super long. Kenny loves them. Sam loves. Everybody loves them. There's so many great names there too. And this is a real booming growth industry right now. These companies they're making money. They're more than just stories. Some of them are stories, but some of them are actually making money. This is a real thing. We're going.
What I like most is a lot of these instruments I just put up UFO. Speaking of space, they are near or at the scene of the crime, right? From where they were either when they launched in that crazy bull run or even near the highs. And
This is what you're talking about.
yeah, right, exactly. So like imagine just like getting to cut the line and just
This is
skip
what you're
out.
talking
You just skip out on 4 years of shit. And you can buy it now, right?
This is what you're talking about.
Yeah, right there.
100%, man.
Right?
They all look fantastic. I think it's go time. Also, shout out Alibaba, 8% stake from the SoftBank Masasan. Beautiful base, beautiful base. The reversal's in Alibaba. It's
That
go time.
doesn't mean anything, Steve.
He was a huge investor before, and he's a big investor again.
That's not.
Hey,
That's not
he's
a
got a lot of
thing.
money, Spencer. It doesn't
All
mean
right.
nothing.
Well, doesn't mean a
Stock's
lot.
up 3%, so it means more money for us longs today.
Yeah. All right. Maybe we should hop. I know you have a few. I know you had a couple break and multiplier trades that maybe just doubled.
Archer, we got to sell the double. Archer just doubled. When did we get in? Friday? Is that another single day double?
Oh.
Nice work.
So just to recap, when Steve does these trades, when they double, he sells half. So worst case scenario, he's not making any money, right? But he
Not
can't
losing any money.
But he can't lose, right?
Yeah.
Worst case is not
scenario. Yeah. Not making any, not losing any. We're breaking even. And a lot of times, the way it works, Spencer, is they're not up exactly 100% when we sell the double. A lot of times it's 125, 150%. So you could do one of two things. You could either sell half, and then in that case, the rest go to zero. You still make a little bit of money. Or you could sell less than half sometimes, right? To still get your initial risk capital back. And then you have more on the table, right? So on these quick doubles, sometimes, man, if we could be up 200, 300%, you get a little runner. Like Archer's up 12.5% here today. This is going to be more than a double. We could sell a little less than half, leave more on the table because this thing probably has legs. So, we could do different things out here. But yeah, let's go. We got some trades. Fast market. Did we hit all the big news of the day? I think we really did.
Oh, I just saw
Yeah,
Oatly, but it was Oatly had a 1-for-20 reverse split this morning. So
Who
Oatly's back in the game, baby.
What's Oatly?
Oatly, OTLY, the oat milk company. Anyway,
I see. Why do you even know about these things? This chart looks like Beyond Meat, and it makes sense now that you tell me what they do.
1-for-20, baby, reverse split. Let's do it.
Garbage.
You don't like reverse splits?
JC had a funny tweet about Beyond Meat.
You guys don't like reverse splits? What was his tweet? I didn't see it. I know.
If only they made fake vegetables out of meat.
Yeah. that would probably sell pretty well, actually. Anyway, okay. What's going on? Today's Tuesday. We're doing spaces at 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Steve and Sean are gonna record the flow show. All right, I think maybe. I don't know. You guys will figure it out. And
flow show.
And then Kenny will go live. At least that's the plan at the close to recap his day. And then tomorrow we got Michael Noss on the show, and we'll talk about he's been working on some fancy algorithm stuff.
So many back tests.
Yeah,
he's working on so many back tests. I don't know how he keeps track.
I don't understand either. So that's what we'll do. So we'll hop out. I know Steve has some trades to manage. I have some stuff to buy. Frankly, I'm a little bit I'm probably under exposed to growth right now, or just general super arc stuff. So let's probably do that today. Maybe on Nibble. So that's what we'll do. So thanks for watching. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Riley. Thanks, chat. What's up?
The new White Lotus. Did you see it?
No, I am almost done with season 2 of The Sopranos. We get some shit went down last night, Steve. Some shit went down last night. And,
almost done with season 2.
Season 2.
Is it? It's Big Puss.
No. It's Ricky, cousin Ricky. Ricky. What's the last name? I don't remember.
Okay, so you're getting to the end then.
We are getting to the end. Something's going to happen with Big Puss. We don't know what, but something's going to go down.
It really is cooking. Season 2. Yeah, this is good. This is a good one. Maybe the best. Maybe the best season.
Really, I feel like it's been slow. I don't know.
Oh, I liked it too.
Maybe we've been slow. I think that's the problem is we've been slow.
We kind of crawling through it. It's a slow show.
A little bit.
So is White Lotus. Like the first couple episodes of these things are always like it's just a setup.
My strategy on shows that are on right now is to just wait and just fall behind for like a few weeks or a month and then just catch up.
I know,
right? So
yeah, because we're ruined now. We want to watch it all at once, and I'm the same way. I can't help myself.
I don't mind waiting, but I do want more than one at a time. I'll do like 3 in a row, and then I can wait a couple weeks, right? Just give me more than one, you know what I mean? So I'll wait. But White Lotus is a fantastic show. I'm sure season 3 is going to be great. I don't have anything else really.
All right,
all right, cool. Let's roll. Go make some money. All right.
See you on Spaces.
Let's do that. 11 o'clock Eastern Standard or daylight. I don't know.
Hour and a half.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.